大家好，我们下面呢来讲一下第三眼这个非常重要的概念。对于我们这个有灵性的人在开启的过程中，也是必须要经历的一个过程哈，也是一个非常重要的工具对我们来讲。所以呢，我们今天呢把它的基本概念给大家梳理一下啊。那首先呢，我们来看一下什么是第三眼啊。第三眼呢就是我们的心。也就是我们的魂魄和灵所结合在一起的这个联合体的眼睛哈。那第三眼和肉眼是不同的。当我们用第三眼去观察世界的时候呢，我们看见的不只是肉眼能够看见的这种外表的物质世界哈，而是更多的是在表面以下内在的东西，这是第一点哈。那第二点的话就是第三眼和心眼也是不同的。我们经常会说我们在看世界的时候，观察一个人的时候，我们用心去感受，是这个时候指的就是心眼。所以呢，只要是他是一个正常的人哈，有魂魄也有灵的话，那他就一定有心眼。但是呢，就是第三眼就不一样了，他不是每个人都有，只有灵性恩赐的人才有第三眼，而且第三眼是真实存在的。它是一个有灵性的人身体的一个窗口，而且通过这个窗口呢，我们可以把我们的观察力和把我们心和灵的能力释放出来，从这个窗口释放出来。这里面就包括着我们用第三眼去观察世界、感悟世界、接受信息，同时我们也可以通过第三眼释放出来的威慑力、释放出来的能力来疗愈世界哈。通过第三眼这个窗口，我们可以感受到外面的世界，同时又释放出能量，去直接感受我们肉眼看不见的地方，就比如说像魂魄和心的那个层面上哈，就是或者更高的智慧，然后更高维度的层面，然后我们来感受来自于高维的智慧，来自于宇宙上帝的信息哈。就在这些时候呢，我们是要用心灵和诚实来感受它。所以呢，第三眼是宇宙上帝赐给我们这些有灵性的人的一个非常非常重要的工具。所以说呢，一般的人有肉眼，我们可以用两眼去观察世界，把外面的景色能够映入我们的大脑中哈。那就是一般的人也有心的眼睛，但是呢，他没有第三眼。而且呢，这个第三眼也不是能够靠修炼得着的。一般的人感受到一些东西，但是不能够释放出能量来。而第三眼是宇宙给有灵性的人这种天生的恩赐，而且是最重要的一个工具哈。那么问题就来了，那我们第三眼究竟在哪里呢？所以一般呢，就是说有灵性的人呢，第三眼通常在眉心的位置。但是呢，有些人呢，他可能就是先天的或者后天的，他的眼睛失去了视力哈。那这时候出现的时候，他第三眼会出现在他失明的那个眼睛的位置哈。再有一些人呢，天生呢，他第三眼可能就不集中在眉心，而是他在皮肤身体的其他部分来感受这个宇宙中的不和谐哈。比如说在咱们的群里面就有一位群友哈，就是当他遇到灵界的这些东西的时候，他会面部发红。然后呢，还有一些人呢，他会感觉到头疼、后脑发凉、后背发凉，这些都是表现出就是说我们的就是第三只眼是在我们身体的其他部分。那作为一个有灵性的人，要很好的去使用宇宙上帝赐给我们这个工具的时候呢，我们就要把身体的第三眼的这个感受集中在一个点上，也就是我们眉心这个位置，然后我们把它打开，就把这个窗口打开哈。那接下来以后呢，就有新的问题了，那什么是第三眼的打开哈？那既然有灵性的人天生就有第三眼这个工具，那我们为什么还要把它打开，叫做第三眼打开呢？那这地方就是有一个这样子的一个规律哈，当我们有灵性的人还弱小的时候，也就是说我们身心灵还处在能量维度都没有完全打开的时候，所以我们第三眼是被保护起来的。就当我们不成熟的时候，有些东西是不让我们去看，也不让我们去感受的，就好像那个孩子哈， 有些东西不让他看，也让他看不到那些不该看的东西。所以呢，我们的第三眼是被保护起来的，或者是叫着被屏蔽、暂时屏蔽的哈。所以这是对我们的保护。当我们的灵性被打开的时候，所以我们的第三眼这时候也需要被打开。那这个打开的过程就是把包裹在我们第三眼上的保护层去掉，让我们的第三眼把它要起的作用全部释放出来，把这个窗口打开。所以我们在冥想的时候专门的有第三眼的练习，就相当于把第三眼这个窗口打开。打开就是把它上面的这些包裹的保护层擦掉，然后擦干净。所以呢，我们有灵性的人从一出生就有第三眼，而我们做第三眼练习的目的就是要把第三眼修复和恢复，让它能够被我们所使用。当我们打开灵性和维度，然后积攒能量这个过程中，我们的第三眼也被打开了。那么刚才讲了第三眼被打开哈，那第三眼究竟有什么用处呢？我们打开它究竟有什么用处啊？刚才我们也讲到了，首先第三眼能够看到不只是肉眼能够看到的事物的外表，而且我们能够看到是事物的里面的内涵哈。这就包含着，就是如果是植物和动物的话，我们可以看到它的魂，也就是它心的那个层面上。如果它是人的话，我们还可以看到它的魂和灵的那个层面上。所以我们观察它里面实际的、真实的发生的这一切哈。同时呢，第三眼能够让我们释放出这种威慑力，然后释放出这种能量，去疗愈和改变这些不和谐的东西，这些不对的东西哈，这种不对的状态。所以这样的话，我们自己的生命就能够回归到宇宙的正常的规律里面，然后我们就会被修复嘛。同时让我们周围的环境和世界都被修复，都被疗愈。而且第三眼呢，它能够让我们接收到来自宇宙高维的智慧和信息，让我们不仅能够看见这些能量和信息，而且能够把它看懂，能够明白，能够看明白，能够读明白，然后能够看见我们作为有灵性的人，我们的呼召是什么。所以第三眼对我们非常非常重要，它是一个非常重要的工具。在将来呢，我们还会讲到，当第三眼在我们身体上的时候呢，我们通过这个窗口，我们可以看外面的世界，就是观察在我们身体以外的世界哈。当我们把第三眼挪到身体以外的时候，在这个宇宙的保护下，我们可以来看自己，也就是自观，还可以就是有威慑，还有制止这些不合规律的、不该存在的，包括入侵在人体或者其他活体的这些魂魄。这样的话，我们就可以疗愈这世界上这些不和谐的东西哈。所以你看，我们讲到它的功效了，因为我们在不同的状态下，我们要使用这个第三眼哈。所以在这里呢，我们就特别讲到每一个有灵性的人，各自的能力和连接的维度是不同的，所以我们的呼召也是不同的，而且我们使用的工具也是不同的。就相当于我们在做不同的工作时候，我们用不同的工具，因为我们的灵性呼召不同，所以呢，我们大概就是把这个第三眼呢，按照它的不同的材质来形容我们第三眼，分别就是石眼、金属眼、水晶眼、玉眼、金眼和天眼。那第一个石眼啊，那第二个是金属眼。石眼和金属眼都是在我们肉体和魂魄这个层面上能够感悟到，就是能够感悟世界的第三眼。它们打开的时候呢，就能够让我们透过事物的外表，能够感受到人或者这个活物的这个里面的魂魄的变化，也包括能够感受到活体以外的这些魂魄，或者我们叫它叫鬼，通常石眼就能够感受到这些魂魄的状态， 金属眼呢比石眼的范畴和能力更多一点啊。那第三个呢是水晶眼，它呢从它开始呢就是属于零的那个维度的第三眼，所以水晶眼呢它有水晶的特质，那它特质就是释放出来的射线，这种像射线一样的威慑力，它能够改变这些不和谐的事物，然后比如说在灵界违规的这些事物，我们可以用水晶眼来制止它们，改变它们。那第四一个就是玉眼，玉哈就是玉石的玉，玉眼，所以它是在零的维度的第三眼。但是玉眼和水晶眼不同的就是玉眼呢，它有玉的特质。那玉的特质它就是一个包容、吸纳，然后改变，然后再释放出来的这个过程。所以当玉看到这些不和谐的时候，玉眼看到这些不和谐的时候，不对的地方的时候，它就把这些负能量、这些不对的地方就吸纳进来，然后进行处理哈。这处理的过程就是包容，然后改变，然后再释放出来对的能量、正能量。它是一个柔和的修正的过程，所以玉眼对我们疗愈世界是非常非常重要的啊。那第五个就是金眼啊，金眼呢，它具有这种王者的威慑哈，代表着这种威严、权力和领导力。它在灵的那个层面上来感受和统领我们哈，用王者的能力来有规律、有组织的改变周围的环境和世界，不是单个的去处理，而是一个在领导、带领的这个整个过程哈。那第六个就是天眼了。那当天眼打开的时候，我们就更加明白这个宇宙上帝的心意哈。我们是能够更好的跟这个宇宙上帝他的能力连接在一起。所以呢，去说我们天眼的时候，就相当于我们知天命嘛，就能够更多的感受到来自于宇宙高维的智慧。所以每一个第三眼都是建立在我们的纬度和宇宙的这种高维连接上，所以在未来的时候，我们的能力被打开，然后我们这些工具就被使用的时候呢，我们会经历一个非常奇妙的过程，你会感受到这个 N 维世界清晰的这种信息智慧，同时能够感受到我们的呼召，能够帮助我们更好的来疗愈这个世界啊。这地方我们要讲到一个就是很重要的一个观念啊，就是说这个第三眼呢，因为不同的材质哈，它没有高低之分。其实第三眼的材质就是跟我们的呼召有关，所以呢，它没有什么高低之分，所以不要去比较，也不要嫉妒，因为第三眼是来自于宇宙的恩赐和礼物。而且并且这个礼物不是给我们自己的，而是这个恩赐是来让我们借着我们来造福世界的，为世界造福的哈。所以在使用的过程中，打个比方说，如果我是石眼的话啊，当我被呼召出来做一些复杂的事情的时候，我需要用到玉的眼睛或者更多的其他的工具的时候，这个宇宙上帝他会把这些帮助都带给我们啊，这是第一点。那第二点呢，而且宇宙上帝它可以随时把我们的第三眼提升到我们需要的那个材质来处理这些事情。当然这些东西的所有的连接啊，都是在石眼的基础上，就相当于我们不管我们是哪一个维度，当我们连接我们的维度的时候，那在 N 维世界的所有的维度，我们的维度就可以跟 N 维世界的所有维度连接。同样，我们打开第三眼的时候，我们就不只是局限在肉眼的这种感悟上，而是在 N 维世界里面打开了第三眼，这是非常非常重要的一个概念哈。那讲到这地方的时候，我们就要想到另外一点，它既然是恩赐，而且是用来造福这个世界的哈，所以我们就不可以滥用，所以要谦卑哈。所以我们前面讲过，只有灵性的人，被呼召的人才有第三眼，所以这第三眼是一个恩赐，有灵性的是代表着我们的这个责任哈， 有恩赐，也有我们这个责任。所以第三眼让我们能够把能力释放出来。所以这个呢，就是也是在圣人讲的这种超自然、超能力的这种形式哈。那么在这巨大的能力背后，一定是有一个法则，有一个规则，有这个宇宙的定律在里面。我们不可以随便的来违反，所以我们就特别的注重我们自己的这个德的修炼哈，或者说我们能够更好的通过自我疗愈的过程，能够让我们达到一个完全的状态啊。这样的话，我们的德就会比较好嘛。比较好的时候，一个巨大的能力哈，被一个有德性的人使用的时候，它是造福世界；如果是被一个没有德性的人使用的时候，那就是对世界的毁坏嘛，完全毁灭嘛。所以宇宙上帝给我的护照是来维护三界的这种次序，身心灵三界的次序，所以我有执法三界的这种权限啊。如果有人滥用自己的能力，在这种情况下，我会顺应我的呼召，停止他的能力。这个要说明一点，不是说靠我自己的私欲啊，而是就是有呼召，而且这些东西是很公正、很公平、公正的。所以我们在使用第三眼的时候，我们一定要注意到，第一呢，因为第三眼我们需要耗费能量哈，所以呢不要随便使用。第二个呢，我们要遵循这个宇宙的规律，遵循宇宙上帝的高维的规则哈，所以我们必须是在有呼召的时候才能使用第三眼，而不是说我们有这个能力了，我们就随便照着自己的意思去做什么事情哈。如果是这样的话，我们就会对自己有损伤，而且如果我们危害到而不是疗愈这个世界的时候，我们就会受到惩罚哈。当这种不对的情况发生的时候，我会使用宇宙上帝给我的能力来制止这个事情发生，那就是说会让你的这些恩赐都失去哈。所以当我们的能力被打开的时候，我们就更加需要的是谦卑，更加需要的是按照宇宙上帝的心意去被使用，而且是我们愿意自愿的去被宇宙使用，我们要有这个德。那么我们讲了这些以后，所以我们就想，那就是我们怎么样打开第三眼啊？当我们知道我们自己是有灵性的人，而且我们知道我们跟恩维世界有纬度上的连接，就是我们之前我帮你们读到了你们的纬度哈，这是你们有的，是与生俱来的，是宇宙上帝给你的这种恩赐啊。如果我们选择接受和开启我们的灵性，知道我们有恩赐，也愿意使用这个恩赐来疗愈世界，并且呢，我们的德也够，在这种情况下，我们会先在白主打好基本功，然后当我们在白主的基础上，就是选择去到达绿主的这个要求，就会进入到绿主。那首先呢，我们要通过每一天的冥想，跟着恩维宇宙世界的你的维度连接哈，每一天提高我们自己，不断的修正疗愈我们自己，在改变我们身心灵，让我们更健康更完全的过程中，我们也会做第三眼的练习。所以这时候呢，我们就把我们第三眼也能够打开哈。所以第三眼打开的话，需要每一天的冥想，而且呢，这其中是包含着第三眼的练习。同时呢，为了提高我们的灵性，所以宇宙上帝它提供了我们很多有灵性的物质哈，中草药或者食物。在这其中，我们就是包括我们选择的这个非常珍贵的这个灵芝哈。所以的话呢，这个灵芝来作为帮助和辅助我们打开灵性、开启灵性的一个重要工具。所以我们每天服用灵芝，这是对我们尤其重要啊。那另外的话，如果缘分够的话，我们能够找到属于你有灵性的那块玉石哈，这把钥匙，帮我们的开启有很大很大的帮助。那第三一点就是我们要做慈善的事情，因为当我们改变这个世界的时候，当我们愿意去为这个世界疗愈这世界的时候，当我们愿意去为有需要的人 为这个世界做一些有意义的事的时候，我们的德就会被提升嘛。那这样的话，我们的能力就会增加，而且会被宇宙使用。那最后一点，我们讲到就是很重要的，就是我们不是一个人在做事情，宇宙上帝是呼召了我们一群人，5%的人，所以呢，我们大家在一起冥想，这是非常重要的。而且在这个过程中呢，大家一起冥想，跟自然宇宙上帝的连接在一起，尤其在绿主，大家一起冥想的时候，那个时间啊非常重要。而且在那个时候呢，宇宙上帝会给我们打开一些特别的维度和能量，在这个特殊的窗口啊，让我们自我疗愈、自我打开，然后又能够帮助我们通过这种体验宇宙各个维度的这些真理，更加明白宇宙的这些规律。这个呢也是我的呼召，我能够用我的能力尽大可能的帮助大家的开启大家的灵性哈。所以呢，这第三眼打开，然后呢这个过程哈，如果我们很认真的、很愿意付出的，再加上你的灵性，再加上你的窗口到了，如果快的话，这个打开这个需要的时间大概1到2年哈。但是每个人的进展是不相同的，因为是我们的每一个人的灵性啊是不相同，我们的每个人的基础也不相同。但是呢，既然我们每个人都有灵性，有这个能力，所以呢，我们就可以把它打开，我们也就把它完全的打开，能够更好的去使用，同时呢，能够寻找到这个宇宙上帝对我们的呼召哈。所以这第三眼非常非常的重要。
Now we're going to do our best to translate the topics on third eye into English. Today we're talking about the third eye. So the first question is, what is the third eye? Third eye is a very special eye. That's when our soul and our spirit are unified together, and then that creates the eye for our combined soul and spirit. We call that particular eye the third eye. So first of all, the third eye is very different from our physical eyes. When we use the third eye to observe the world, what we can see is not only the outside physical world that our naked eyes can also see. With our third eye, we can see what is under the surface, go much deeper. And second, the third eye is different from what we call the heart's eye. Oftentimes, we'd say that when we're looking at the world and when we're observing a person, we can use our heart to feel them. By this, we're referring to the heart's eye. As long as the person is a normal person, he has a soul and spirit, he's going to have the heart's eye. But the third eye is different. Not everyone has the third eye. Only people with special gifts have the third eye, and third eye exists for real. Specifically, the third eye is a window on the body of those people who are gifted. Through this window, we can release our power of observation and also the power of our soul and spirit, release them out through this window. What that means is that we can use our third eye to observe the world around us. We can perceive the world and receive messages. And in addition, this is very important, through our third eye, we can release deterrence forces to stop things that shouldn't be happening, and we can release power and energy to heal the world. So through the window of the third eye, we can feel the external world, but at the same time release energy and power. We can directly feel the things that are invisible to our physical eyes. For example, We can feel and see the things at the soul and spirit level. And we can even see things at a much higher dimensions and higher level, including those messages coming from the universe and the God. Those are the times when we need to use our soul and spirit and honesty to receive them and to feel them. So third eye is a very special gift and a very important tool that is given to people who are very special and given by the universe and the God. So ordinary people have physical eyes, and then they can use those eyes to observe the world, and then they have the heart's eye, but they don't have the third eye. And it's not something that somebody can obtain through cultivation or practices. Ordinary people can feel certain things, but they cannot have this ability of releasing power through a third eye because they don't have it. Third eye is a very special gift to certain people by the universe and the God. Now let's talk about where is the third eye typically located. For people who have special gifts, their third eyes are typically located in between the eyebrows. For certain people, if they've lost sight of their physical eyes, most often their third eyes will be in the place of their blind eye position. Still other people, by born, their third eye may not be actually located in between their eyebrows. Sometimes it could be on their skin or some of the other parts of their body that enable them to feel the disharmony in the universe. For example, we have a friend in our group. When he meets something in the world of the spirit, his face would turn red. And some other people might feel headache, or they will have chills in the back of their head, or the chills on their back. Those are all signs that their third eyes are somewhere else on their body, located not necessarily in between their eyebrows. So we, as people with gifts, we want to use this gift from the universe and the God, and then this tool given to us to its best ability. So we will try to concentrate all of the feelings of our third eye to be on one point, and then that is the point in between our eyebrow, and we're going to open this window of the third eye. Now let's talk about what it means to open the third eye. If gifted people are born with the third eye, then what does it mean to open their third eyes? This is what it means. When we as gifted people are still weak and early in our stage in terms of developing our physical, our soul and spirit power, that's when our energy and our dimensions are not fully yet opened. Our third eyes are being protected. When we're still immature, certain things are not allowed for us to see or to feel. This is similar to how we protect our children when they're young. We don't allow them to see certain things that they're not supposed to see. So at this stage, our third eye is still being protected and being blocked temporarily, and then that's a form of protection for us. But as our gifts are being opened over time, our third eyes will be opened. This opening process is to gradually remove that protective layer wrapped around our third eye, and we learn how to use our third eye, and we learn how to fully release our power of our third eye. And in our meditation, we have very specific practice for our third eye. And then that's how we learn to open up this third eye window and to wipe off that protective layer and to wipe it clean. So we as people with gifts, we have the third eye from our birth. And the purpose of our doing the third eye practice is to repair and restore our use of our third eye so we can learn how to utilize it. And as we open our gifts and our dimensions and also accumulate more energy in us, our third eye will be gradually opened. Now let's talk about the functions of our third eye. So what do we use our third eye for? We talked a little bit about this up front. There are three main uses. Number one is to see deeply, and then second is to release power, and then third one is to receive higher wisdom. We're going to talk about each one of them in great detail. The first one, using the third eye, we can see far beyond what our physical eyes can see. We will go underneath what is surface and then see the inner content and what is real. And we can see things that are invisible to our physical eyes. That includes, if we're using our third eye to look at plants and animals, we will be able to see their soul level, which is their heart's level. If we're using our third eye to see a human being, we know that humans have not just the soul but also spirit. Then we can see their soul and spirit level, and we can see what is actually really happening with those humans. So that's the first use. The second use is that the third eye will allow us to release forces and energy to heal the world and rectify things that are incorrect in our environment. Our third eye can release deterrence force to stop things that are incorrect. With this power, it will enable us to revert back to the normal laws of the universe. We ourselves will be healed at the same time with our ability to release rectifying forces. We can heal the surroundings around us and we can heal the world. The third aspect, our third eye will allow us to receive higher wisdom from the universe. It will enable us not only to see and receive those energy and messages, we can actually understand and comprehend. And also, with our third eye, eventually we will be able to see, we as gifted people, what is our responsibility and what is our calling. That's why third eye is such an important tool for us. In the future, at some point, we will talk about even more of the use of the third eye. For example, when the third eye is on our body, we can, through this third eye window, see the external world. So we can look out to observe the external world outside of our body. We can also move our third eye outside of our body, and under the protection of the universe, we can use that third eye outside of our body to look back at us. That's observing ourselves. We can also use the third eye to deter and stop things that are not in accordance with the law of the universe, to stop things that should not exist. For example, some of the souls that have invaded into a human body or some other living bodies, we can use our third eye to stop and heal those disharmony in our world. So those are the main uses of our third eye. Next, let's talk about different types of the third eyes. Here, I want to specifically mention that every gifted person, our respective ability and our connection with the dimensions of the universe are different. As a result, our callings are different and our tools are different. This is just like when you're doing different jobs, you use different tools. Because our gifts and our callings are different, we use 6 types of materials to describe different types of the third eyes. They are stone eye, metal eye, crystal eye, jade eye, gold eye, and sky eye. We'll talk about each one of them. The first one is the stone eye. The second one is the metal eye. Both the stone eye and the metal eye are the third eyes that allow us to perceive the world at the physical and then soul level. So when the stone eye and metal eyes are opened, it will enable us to see through the surface of things and actually feel the changes at the soul level of human being or living beings. And also we could feel those soul that's outside of the living being, which we call ghost. Oftentimes with stone eyes, that's sufficient for us to feel the state of those souls. The metal eye has a little bit more scope and ability than the stone eye. The third one is the crystal eye. Starting from the crystal eye and up, it belongs to the dimension of the spirit level. The crystal third eye has the property of crystal. Specifically, it can release ray. It can release a deterrence force like a ray that radiates out. So it can change the disharmonies in the universe. For example, if there are things that are violating the laws in the world of the spirit, we can use the crystal eye to stop it and then change it. The fourth one is the jade eye. Jade eye is also a third eye at the level of the spirit. But the jade eye is very different from the crystal eye. While crystal eye radiates out forces, the jade eye has the property of the jade. It can absorb, embrace, and change and release. So it has entire process that is different from the crystal eye. When the jade eye is open and when it sees something that is in disharmony and something that's incorrect, what it does is it actually absorbs those negative energy. It tolerates them first. It changes those forces and then release it out. What is being released is the right and positive energy. So jade gives this gentle correction process. And therefore, the jade eye is extremely important for healing the world. The fifth is the gold eye. Gold eye has the king power. It represents majesty, power, and leadership. Again, it's a third eye at the spirit level. It feels and leads us at the spirit level. Its king power can change the world around us in an orderly and organized manner. It doesn't deal with things individually, but it exercises a process of leadership. The last one is the sky eye. When our sky eye is opened, we'll better understand the will of the universe and the God. We'll be better able to directly connect with the ability of the universe and God. That's why we say that the sky eye knows the destiny, and we can better receive the higher wisdom coming from the universe. Therefore, every third eye is built upon the connection between our dimension with the higher wisdom and higher dimension of the universe. In the future, when our abilities are being opened and our tools are being used, we're going to go through a very amazing journey, and we will feel very clearly the message and wisdom from the nth dimensional world, and we will find our responsibility and calling that'll help us to better heal this world. The next very important concept is that different types of third eyes, there's really no one that is inferior or superior than another third eye. We talked about that different people have different calling, so they need different third eyes as tools. So there's no particular third eye that's inferior or superior to another one. Therefore, we should not compare against each other or be jealous about other people's third eye. Because third eyes are the gifts and tools given to us from the universe, not for the purpose of us using it for our own purposes. It is for the benefit of healing the world through us. So we need to be very clear about that. When we need to use those tools, the universe will give us those tools. For example, if I have stone eye, and when I'm called upon to do something that's a little bit more complicated and I need to use the jade eye or some additional tools, the universe and God will give those help to me. This is point number one. Second, the universe is always ready to elevate my third eye to the material that is needed to handle the situation I need to handle. Of course, if my point of connection is based on the stone eye level, then it actually doesn't matter what my dimension is, as long as I connect my dimension with the nth dimensional world. Then through this connection, my dimension can be connected with all the dimensions in the nth dimensional world. Similarly, when we open our third eye, we're no longer being limited to the perception of our physical eyes. We're opening our third eye in the nth dimensional world, and this is a very important concept. The next very important point is that our third eye is a gift. We cannot abuse it. We need to be humble. We talked about how only gifted people with calling, would have third eye. So we understand that the third eye is a tremendous gift. And with that gift, it comes with our responsibility. With the third eye's opening, our ability and power will be released, and we would have what an ordinary person might seem to see as supernatural and superpower. Behind that enormous power, There's always rules and laws of the universe, so we cannot violate those rules casually. That is why we've always emphasized on the cultivation of our virtual. And then that's also why self-healing is so important, because through self-healing, we can better achieve a complete state of ourself, and then this helps cultivate our virtual. A great power, we all know that if used by a virtuous person, that is for the benefit of the world, but if it's used by a person without virtue, that brings destruction to our world. For William, the calling that the universe and God has given to him is to maintain the order of the three worlds, of the physical, soul, and spirit worlds. Therefore, he has the power and authority to enforce the laws of the universe. Specifically, if anybody should abuse their ability, William will follow his calling to stop those people's power. This is not up to William's private or self-desire to do so. He will do so by the calling, and it'll be fair and just. That's why when we're using our third eye, we cannot use it casually, because number one, when we use our third eye, it actually consumes a lot of our energy. That's why we don't use it casually. And second, we must follow the law of the nature, the rules set by the universe. We can only use our third eye when we have callings, rather than using it as we wish. If we abuse it, we will hurt ourselves. If we harm instead of heal the world, we will be punished. When things that are incorrect happen, William will use the power and authority given to him by the universe and God to stop those things from happening. And also those people, their gifts will be lost. So when our third eye is opened and our power is being opened, we need to be more humble and with greater humility. We need to follow the laws of the universe and to be more willing to be used by the universe, and to be voluntarily willing to do so. Now let's talk about the specific steps of how to open our third eye. When we know we're people with gift, which means that we have dimensions that can connect with the nth dimensional world, and we know our specific dimensions as read by William, and those are come by born with us. If at this point, if we choose to accept and open our gifts, if we're willing to use our gifts to heal the world, and at the same time, if we have sufficient virtual, under all of those conditions together, then we will start out with the white group to lay the basic foundations, to learn the core meditations and very important key concepts. So that is the first step. Then, building onto the basis of the white group, if we feel ready to choose the higher requirement and the commitment for the green group, then we will join the green group. First of all, every day we will meditate to build that connection between our dimension with the nth dimensional universe. We will improve ourselves every day and constantly rectify and also heal ourselves. as we transform our body, our soul, and our spirit to become healthier and more complete. In this journey, we will start to do third eye practice. So to open the third eye, daily meditation is required, and then that includes specific exercise to open the third eye. Also, we need to improve our spirit power. The universe and God has given us plants, herbs, and food that are very helpful for our spirit growth. Among those, lingzhi, which is the reishi mushroom, is one of the best aids to help us increase our spirit power, and it's a very important tool for our opening. That's why taking reishi every day is very important for our growth. In addition, if we have the fate to find that jade which belongs to us, it's a very important key, and it'll be greatly helpful to our opening. Meanwhile, we need to do more charitable work, because as we change the world, as we are willing to help those who need our help and to do more meaningful things for the world, our virtual will be enhanced. And by doing so, our ability and power will be increased as well, and we will be used more by the universe. Last but not least, it's very important for us to understand that we're not alone in doing all those things. The universe and God is calling us as a group of people, 5% of the population. So it's so important for us to meditate together and build that dimensional connection with the universe. Especially in the green group, when we come together and do the meditation, during that particular window, the universe and God will open special dimensions and energies for us. Within this special window, as we heal ourselves and open ourselves, we get to experience the various dimensions, and through that experience, we will better understand the law of the universe. And this is specifically William's calling to use his best ability to help everyone to open our gifts. So in terms of the time frame of opening the third eye, if a person is serious and is willing to commit effort, plus this person's gift and spirit power, and plus if the right timing has come, if everything goes smoothly, then we would hope that within 1 to 2 years, the third eye will be opened. However, not everybody's progress is going to be the same, because everyone's spirit power and foundation is different. But we all know that everybody here, we have the gift. We have this ability, so we can fully open it. We can best use our third eye, and with this tool we can find the calling and the responsibility that the universe and God has given us. That is all to say that the third eye is very important for us.